Hey crafters! Today I'm going to make a couple of fun birthday gift tags with rainbows and unicorns. One will have traditional colors and the other will be inspired by the colors of autumn. I hope you enjoy. So to make 2 gift tags, we'll need 8 tags cut out that are identical and the straight up rainbow dynamics from My Favorite Things. We'll need 2 rainbows and 2 clouds. Now the first rainbow is going to be Distress Inks, a traditional rainbow. And each piece of the rainbow, I'm going to ink blend a different color of Distress Ink on it. Now I'm using my Waffle Flower Mini Media Mat for this because it grips the paper and it makes Distress Ink blending on small pieces of paper a lot faster. Now, of course, you don't need to use distress inks for this. You could always color the paper with markers or pencil crayons, or even use colored paper before you die cut it. So now for my autumn rainbow, I'm going to use these Distress Oxide colors. Now, although I'm not using every color of the rainbow, if I put these shades in rainbow order, it will look like a rainbow when I'm finished. So don't forget, you can always use the colors on your card to customize it. Try adding more blues and purples to make more of a winter rainbow. So now I'm going to line up the pieces of my traditional rainbow and then my autumn rainbow on a piece of Post-it note tape. This will help to hold the pieces in place. Now in my autumn rainbow, I have 2 oranges that are similar. So the rusty hinge is the darker orange, and I put that closer to the red just to create more of a contrast from the Spice Marmalade, which is the lighter orange. As long as you follow a general rainbow order, your rainbow will look just gorgeous. Now once I've secured these pieces, I'm going to use some Perfect Pearls mixed with water and spray it over my rainbows to make them shimmer. So on my traditional rainbow, I'm going to use the Perfect Pearl color, which is mixed with water. And then I'm going to immediately dry it with my heat tool so that I don't get any distress ink effect, but I just get the sparkly glimmer effect. On my autumn rainbow, it's hard to tell on the camera, but I'm using a darker Perfect Pearl color. This one's called Blush, and it's also mixed with water. And again, make sure you dry it right away. And what you're left with is some shimmery, beautiful rainbows. So now I'm going to set those aside to dry completely and add some clouds onto 2 of the tags. This stencil is called the Micro Cloud Stencil for My Favorite Things. Now the trick to using this stencil, whether you're using oxides or inks, is to add the ink onto the actual stencil first and then pull it down onto your tag. Now I'm using a blending brush for this so that I get a really soft effect with the Distress ink as well as the oxide. Now once I'm happy with the position of these clouds, I'll add a bit more ink at the top and bottom of both tags until I'm happy with the effect that I've created. You can also vary the amount of ink that you put on the side of the tags depending on the effect that you're going for. Now once I'm happy with these, I'm going to set them aside to completely dry and start working on my unicorns. Now for the unicorn, I used a stamp from the Fairy Tale Friends set by My Favorite Things, and I stamped it twice onto some Copic friendly paper. The one on the left is for my autumn rainbow, and the one on the right is for my traditional rainbow. So for the traditional colored one, I used a gray body and then rainbow colored hair. And for the one on the left, I used a brownish body and sort of a Palomino inspired horse with a yellowy hair. And then I colored the wings in very lightly on both of the unicorns, just with a E00. And then I colored the horns in as well. And then using a glitter brush, I just added some glitter detail. Now, using a sentiment from the same stamp set, I'm going to stamp onto those two clouds with some Enchanted Gold pigment ink by Altenew. This says, "Wishing you the happiest birthday ever." And this is going to go on the outside of my tag, my birthday tags. Using this ink just gives it a more magical or fairy tale-like effect. So now I'm going to attach everything for the front of the gift tags. So I've got some plain tags that I've ink blended. The blue is the tumbled glass and the orange is the spice marmalade. And I'm just using some post-it tape to secure all the pieces of the rainbow so that it's one piece, so that it can be easily glued onto the front of the tag. You could always use washi tape for this or adhere them directly onto the card with some double-sided tape. I just found this easier to use the post-it tape. Now, once I've got the rainbow on the tag, I'm going to use some foam pads on the back of the cloud so it's popped up a bit and adhere that onto the bottom so that the rainbow leads into the cloud. And another benefit of using glue to adhere the rainbow is that it's easy to adjust until you're happy with it. So once I've attached the cloud onto the bottom of the rainbow, I'm just going to trim off the top of the gift tag so that I have my nice beveled top. And then I'll repeat the same process on the other tag, the orange one, which will be our autumn gift tag. Now, to make these gift tags a bit more magical, I'm going to apply some liquid glue around the outside of the clouds and then apply some very fine glitter. Now, the glitter I'm using is from Lavinia Stamps and it's called Moon Dust. This is the holographic one. And I'm going to sprinkle it around the cloud and then wipe off the excess glitter with a paintbrush. And then I'll apply some more liquid glue covering up those white areas on the outside of the cloud, and I'll just continue to do this until I'm happy with the coverage on the cloud. Now I'm going to do the same thing on my autumn cloud, but instead of this moon dust, I'm going to use the one called Autumn Dew, which looks perfect with my autumn rainbow. Now, using my Enchanted Gold pigment ink, I'm going to stamp 2 more images from that Fairy Tale Friends stamp set. There's a lovely rainbow and a heart, which will be perfect for the inside of my birthday gift tag, so I can write my to and from in there. And once I've stamped these images and the pigment ink is completely dry, I'll move on to adding some color around the outside. So for my Distress Ink one, I'm going to use some fossilized amber, and I'm just using my finger dauber to apply the ink, just so that there's a tiny little bit. And on my traditional colored gift tag, I'm going to use that tumbled glass Distress Ink. And because this color is so light, it won't be as striking as the fossilized amber, but it still looks amazing around the outside. Now, once these are finished, I'm going to start putting my completed tags together. So I have made another back panel, which is just the plain Distress Ink. That one's the tumbled glass. And I'm going to attach that to the front with the rainbow with some post-it tape. And the best way I found to do this is just to add 2 pieces to make a hinge, and then fold over the post-it tape and then apply the liquid glue to your 2 inside pieces. Now, I wanted my tags to kind of fall open so the recipient would see the inside. So that's why I covered up the hole on the front of the card. And I'm just going to add some ribbon to the back part of the card. But of course, if you wanted to have your tag closed, you could always have your front and back hole showing. So I'm going to do the exact same thing on my Distress Oxide, my autumn rainbow version, using 2 pieces of post-it tape to make a hinge, and then gluing the inside pieces on top of the front and back. And I'm going to set these aside until they're completely dry. These gift tags take a little bit of extra work, but I hope you'll agree that they're worth the extra effort. So once they're completely dry, I'm going to add some ribbon from Paper Chase, and I'm going to fold the ribbon in half twice to fit it through the hole, and then I'll give it 2 knots at the back. So once I've double knotted this, I'm going to trim off the ends so that it's nice and neat, and move the knot down to the bottom, covering up the hole. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing on my second gift tag. And now I have 2 beautiful rainbow and unicorn gift tags. Thanks for watching, and I hope these rainbow and unicorn gift tags inspired you to craft something. If you haven't already, please subscribe so that you're notified whenever I post a new video. Have a crafty day!